Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And for this video, we are going to discuss the elusive and mysterious Pixel 4a 5G. We're also going to talk about the Pixel 5, and we're going to try to unclutter this big clutter of a mess that is like in front of us right now, because there's just so much things going on, and so we're just going to try to get it out there. So first thing that we do know is that there's actually 3 devices that Google intends to release this year. We've seen the source code files, so we know what their code names are. So there was Bramble, Redfin, and Sailfish, I believe. Sailfish, I believe it is his name. I could be wrong. But those are code names for 3 devices. And we do know that Google names Pixel devices. They give them code names based on sport fishing. So 3 devices. Now, the likely chances of a Pixel 5 XL, no. As they did that with the Pixel 4a. So the 4a did not have an XL version. But what is this 3rd device? And so people were talking about a Pixel 4a 5G. However, it confuses a lot of people because the 4a just released Monday. Well, it was unveiled Monday, and Team Pixel users got their Pixel 4as either weeks before it or the day after the little quick ad, which Google is touting that it's the fastest phone release, or I guess the fastest event ever, because it was like a 30-second ad. But yeah, so people wonder, why didn't the 4a 5G come with the Pixel 4a? So just to kind of give it out there, okay, so this is just my thought on this, but I feel like that the 4a 5G was not ready for prime time. I feel like that there was probably still some issues with the device or things that they were trying to work out, because who knows? We don't know exactly what's going to be in the 4a 5G. This device doesn't have a lot of leaked information, such as the 4a leaked and such as, you know, the 4 leaked last year. We don't have a lot on it. So we do know that more than likely it's going to cost $150 more than the Pixel 4a. That much we know of. So it's going to have a price tag of $499, and I do think it's going to adopt the same thing that the Pixel 4a did, which was there's only one version, simplified. This is the phone. That's it. There's not going to be different variations of it. So probably maintaining that 128 gigabytes of internal storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. But then what processing chip is it going to use? Because it's rumored that the Pixel 5 is probably not going to compete in processing power against Samsung and Apple, and that they're going to focus more on photography. So we may get several different sensors in the Pixel 5 that, you know, we were either hoping for, or, you know, maybe something new to it, maybe a whole totally different idea. Who knows? And so if the Pixel 5 has a Snapdragon 765G, which is a 5G capable chip, then what would the Pixel 4a 5G have? Now, some had said that there's a 600 series chip from Qualcomm that's supposed to be 5G capable as well. I highly doubt that Google is going to put a weaker processing chip in the Pixel 4a 5G when that's being marketed $150 more than the Pixel 4a. So likely odds chances it's going to have the Snapdragon 765G. Now, if it has that chip, does it mean that the Pixel 5 will have the 865? No. They could if they wanted to compete in the flagship performance. They could do that, but I really do have a feeling that Google's not going that route. It's a strong possibility that the 4a 5G and the Pixel 5 both are going to be using the Snapdragon 765G. But if that's the case, why get the Pixel 5 when you can get the 4a 5G for much cheaper? Because it's speculated that the 5 would cost anywhere between $599 to $699. I'm guessing like $549 or $649, somewhere in there. I'm gonna ballpark it in there. But, you know, again, you gotta look. The Pixel 5 is the flagship release of Google's Pixel phones, right? The 4a 5G is still a mid-ranger. So even if it had the Snapdragon 765G, which would kind of raise the price tag on it, then you would have, you know, of course, the bigger display, the bigger battery, but it'll probably maybe have just a single camera sensor on the back like the Pixel 4a, or they could add a secondary, like, you know, put the telephoto lens that was in the Pixel 4 and the 4a 5G, which I know people would be like, why do that? Put ultra wide. Okay, but I'm just saying, to make up that gap of $150 more, but it would be about $100 or maybe $150 less than the Pixel 5. You could still market it. The Pixel 5 would still sell. because the Pixel 5 is going to have things that the Pixel 4a and 4a 5G don't have. It's already rumored that there's going to be more camera sensors in this device, in the Pixel 5, than last year's Pixel 4, and that they're looking to correct a lot of the mistakes that they had made with the Pixel 4. So, of course, we can expect better battery with the Pixel 5, being one of the major things that the Pixel 4 is called out on. Now, the Pixel 5 obviously is going to have a better, like a more premium build quality to it if you care about that sorts of things. But obviously, it's going to need that because it will have wireless charging, obviously, something that the 4A does not have, and I likely doubt the 4A 5G will have. None of those phones I can expect to have wireless charging. So the 5 will have wireless charging. It will have a water and dust resistant rating, as current Pixels do. Well, at least the flagship ones do. I know it's not going to have Project Soli. That was tested in the Pixel 4. It's not making a return. So we can expect some sort of biometric security regarding fingerprint with the Pixel 5. Now, will it be an in-display fingerprint sensor? I hope not, because, I mean, those are cool. I see Samsung and OnePlus using them, but I still don't think they're as fast as an actual physical biometric button on the back of a Pixel device. Now, camera sensor, more than likely, it's going to maintain that telephoto lens along with the camera itself. It could be bumped up to a 16 megapixel instead of a 12. But I'm also expecting to see either ultra wide or some sort of quirky lens added into it. Of course, the front will have the hole punch selfie cam design. Maybe it's bumped up to 12 megapixels as a selfie cam, or maybe it's going to maintain the 8. Who knows? But we can say that the Pixel 5 will have more of a premium build quality. And if that's the case, then there is the reason why, even though they had the same processing chip, that there would still be a sale for the Pixel 5 and sales for the Pixel 4a 5G. Even on top of that, let's just say that the Pixel 4a 5G comes with the Snapdragon 765G processing chip, and Pixel 5 does not go with the 865 and it doesn't go with the 765, then what other chip could they go with? Could they go with the mysterious Google chip that Google is working on with the help of Samsung? I mean, people kind of get that confused. They think that Pixels are switching over to Exynos processors, and they're not. They are not switching over to Exynos processor. All they're doing is they're utilizing Samsung to help them design and build their very own processing chip. You know, it's kind of like being mentored, like this is how you build a car. So like, let's say like, you know, Ford helped Chevy build a car. People don't get mad at that analogy. It's just an analogy. I'm not saying that's what happened. Well, let's say that Ford came first, Chevy came later, and Ford decided to help Chevy show them how to build a car, and then Chevy decided to do it afterwards and build their own cars, right? And then do it their way. That's what's happening with this mysterious chip from Google dubbed the G chip, is that it's Samsung showing them how they build their processing chip, the Exynos processor, and that Google is going to use that newfound knowledge and build their own processing chip for Pixel devices. What could be done with this? Well, it would mean longer support for the devices. See, this is probably one of the biggest things that not a lot of people know about, and shout out to Sneed and them for putting it out there for people to understand. The reason why Pixel devices don't get even longer updates is because of the processing chip in the phone. If the processing chip cannot support future software releases from Android, then it just can't. You just can't make it do it. But if you design your own chip like Apple does, then you can give it years of life. This is why iPhones are supported for like 6 years. Apple designs everything from the body of the phone to like the brim and the sides of the phone to the internal components, the logic board, and even the chip itself. The Bionic chip that comes in iPhones is made by Apple. They don't go outsource for their processing chip. So, with that being said, if Google was to develop their own chip, then they could make it to where Pixel devices are supported for a lot longer than just 3 years. And you'll notice that it has to do with Qualcomm if you're kind of questioning that, because even look at Samsung. With the recent Unpacked event, Samsung decided to talk about that they're going to now start supporting Galaxy S and Galaxy Note devices for up to 3 years. But of course, there's two chips that Samsung uses. One is Exynos, which is their own chip, and that's mostly used in Korea, in those countries. And in the US, they use Qualcomm. So that pretty much tells the tale. But let's say that Google has not really, developed this G chip yet, because it's said that this chip will be in the Pixel 6. So then what other chip could they go with? And this chip that they could go with, that's not the Snapdragon 765G, is the chip that I said that they should go with, which is the Snapdragon 768G, which recently released. It was a recent release from Qualcomm. The reason why I said that is because the 768G has one thing. I mean, it has several things that's cool about it, but the one thing that stood out for me was that the GPU drivers are updatable OTA. So you could update the GPU drivers on this chip, which was not ever done before on the Qualcomm chip. So the 768G would be a perfect chip to throw in the Pixel 5 just to differentiate it from the Pixel 4a 5G, but also give it something new. But it still wouldn't hurt the Pixel 5 even if they did opt the 765G. So again, with a lot of this stuff that I'm throwing your guys' way, the Pixel 4a 5G, we know it's there. We know it's there with the Pixel 5. When you pre-ordered the Pixel 4a, if you scroll down more on the page at the Google Store, it showed a photo with two devices side by side and then 5G in the background using the number 5 and the Google logo to signify 5G is coming to their devices. So we pretty much know that. So as far as like the rest of the specifications, we'll just have to wait. We do know that it's coming close to the time. Rumor has it October 8th for the release of these phones. And just recently, the Google Store took down the Pixel 4 and 4 XL. You cannot buy a Pixel 4 and 4 XL at the Google Store anymore. There's a little note that they said that they have ran out through the inventory. If you want a 4 or 4 XL, you'd have to go to third-party stores or websites to buy one, but they aren't officially selling it. And the last time they took a phone down, which was the Pixel 3a, Monday, the Pixel 4a release. So October 8th is the rumor release date for the Pixel 5 and 4a 5G. We'll just have to see what happens then. And then a lot of our speculations will be answered on that day. We'll know what chipsets that both devices are using, price points that they are, the amount of internal specifications such as RAM and internal storage, the camera sensors, and all that good stuff. We'll know on that day. We can keep saying what we want to say from what's leaked, but nothing is official until the day the devices are released. So if you guys enjoyed what I had to say and found it informative, thanks so much for checking out today's video. And you can let me know by smashing that like button. If you just found my channel and subscribed, thanks for doing so. I really appreciate that. And you can hit the bell icon so you don't miss an upload or a live stream that I do. That's it for this video. Thanks for peeping it. And as always, Allah.